almost a month ever since the war started in West Asia, and there seems to be no de-escalation in sight. A day after announcing pause on strikes on Iran's energy infra for the next 10 days, Donald Trump has said that US is close to achieving the objectives in Iran, and only 3,000 targets are left to be struck. Listen in to what he said.
You know, we had an attack of 101 a few days ago. 101 missiles shot at a very valuable thing that we had floating on the water, namely an aircraft carrier, biggest in the world. And they were shot, 101, going 2,500 miles an hour. And out of the 101 missiles shot, 101 missiles were shot down and spread out all over the sea. Pretty amazing. That's called incredible technology, right, Steve? That's called great tech. Now think of it, 101 missiles going 2,500 miles an hour. You don't have a lot of time. And these aren't necessarily weightlifting shoulders. These are very smart people doing that. And I watched them. I watched their performance. Missiles launched. It's almost like they're bored by it. They have like 9 seconds head of FIFA, the most powerful man in sports. Johnny, you never choked, right? These guys can't choke, but they're very smart. High IQs. We need high IQs. We have too many low IQ people. But what happened is, you have to see it. It's very cool. Missiles launched, missiles launching. They're launching. Okay, we're ready. 101 missiles coming at them. All right, we have to have like 11 seconds to make a determination. Then at 7 seconds, fire. This is the most unbelievable thing. Fire, boom. One at a time, just knocked them out like they were nothing. Genius, it's like unbelievable. I mean, to think and we have the technology nobody has. Look at what happened in Venezuela. They had other equipment, not ours. They made the mistake of using other equipment. Didn't work too well. And Venezuela was, took 45 minutes. It was a 45-minute war. This one's bigger. It's a bigger country, a lot more powerful. It's a lot more powerful, but it's not powerful anymore. Within 2 days, I think the damage was done. But now it's really done. Now we're just going after targets. And they have no anti-aircraft, so we're just floating over the top looking for whatever we want, and we're hitting it, and we have another 3,554 targets left, and that'll be done pretty quickly. And then, at some point, we're going to have to determine what we do. But they've never seen anything like it. When we hit Venezuela, that's a very strong military country. They have soldiers. If you've ever been there, I've been there. They have a lot,
Let's also tell you about another big statement that has been made by US President Donald Trump amid a raging war in West Asia. He called himself a peacemaker. He said, and I quote, "I would love my legacy to be made as a great peacemaker because I really believe I am a peacemaker." Now, this despite almost 2,000 people killed in Iran in the last few days and countless others in Gulf countries as well because of the war that is raging in West Asia. Now, remember, upon starting his second term as the President of the United States last year, Donald Trump had declared his goal to be a peacemaker, a unifier, aiming to end wars and foster the international deals as well. And now amid the West Asia war that is raging in the last 1 month, in fact, he has called himself a peacemaker. Listen in.
What do you want your legacy to be?
Well, I'll tell you what. So I told you that I settled 8 wars. That means millions and millions of people. And some of those wars were going on. One was 34 years, one was 32 years, one was 29 years, one was 22 years. They were long-term wars and a lot of people being killed every year. So I've saved millions and millions of people. And I mean, I know it doesn't sound right for me to say this, but I'd love my legacy to be made as a great peacemaker, because I really believe I'm a peacemaker. It doesn't seem it right now, but I think I'm a peacemaker. Okay?
Let me get you more perspective on this and go across to our consulting editor, Srinjoy Chaudhary. Good morning, Srinjoy. After changing regime in Venezuela, attacking Iran and saying Cuba is next, Donald Trump is saying that he wants to be remembered as a peacemaker. Take us through the details.
There was also a little bit about Greenland not that long ago.
Right.
And it's only after his allies, the Danes, the French, the others, decided that, look, we need to put some troops in Greenland before the Americans did, that the Greenland issue finally ended. But we don't know whether it has finally ended or not, but at least for the time being, President Trump is quite quiet on Greenland. Then, of course, there have been all these wars he has ended, he has said, and saved millions and millions of lives. One, of course, was the one between India and Pakistan, which he said could have gone nuclear and many, many million people would have died, except that the Indian government has said that the war ended really when the Pakistani DGMO called Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghai, his counterpart at that time, and said, can we have a ceasefire? So there is a lot of complications about all those wars he's ended. But as far as these recent initiatives were concerned, you saw Venezuela. He's called it a 45-minute war. Now this one, the one currently going on, is 29 days old and has a potential of going on to be 45 days. The earlier one was 45 minutes or so. This one could be 45 days, maybe more. We don't know, because the president says that the president, who is the peacemaker, he says that he has over 3,500 targets left to hit. Now, what these targets are, we don't know. As of now, he has very kindly consented to not striking energy targets, which basically means power plants, refineries, and so on. So
right.
President Trump has decided not to strike energy targets, and for 10 days. So we still have 8 or 9 days to go before that issue comes up. Meanwhile, there are talks going on, he says, or he did yesterday, and perhaps 3 other countries are involved in these indirect talks: Egypt, Turkey, Pakistan, and so on. So we have to see what he tells us tomorrow.
But for now, Donald Trump is saying that he wants to be remembered as the peacemaker, because time and again he has complained about not winning the Nobel Peace Prize as well. So on with us, Srinjoy, we have another breaking update coming in at a time when Iran is using the Strait of Hormuz as a pressure point and has blocked it for the non-friendly countries, leaving Donald Trump completely helpless. In the latest, he jokingly referred to the Strait of Hormuz as the Strait of Trump. Listen in to what he said.
Crushing Iran's currently, as we speak, I just looked, we had another big day. We hit them. They don't know what's happening. Remember this, they lied about 3 days ago. I said, yeah, we're negotiating with Israel. We are not negotiating. They're being hit so hard, anybody would be negotiating. They are negotiating. They're begging to make a deal. They're begging to make a deal. Turned out I was right. They were negotiating, which they admitted 2 days later. And in order to make up for their misstatement, they said, we're going to send you 8 ships of oil. And the following day I saw, this is 2 days ago, I saw on one of the networks, very strange, there were 8 ships of oil coming out of Iran. And then they actually said, we're going to add an extra 2. And they added an extra 2, so we had 10 ships, and then people realized we were actually negotiating. And we're negotiating now, and it'd be great if we could do something, but they have to open it up. They have to open up the Strait of Trump, Hormuz. Excuse me for this. I'm so sorry. Such a terrible mistake. The fake news will say, he accidentally said, no. There's no accidents with me, not too many. If there were, we'd have a major story.